Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach.
This is Nacho Ordinary Fitness Podcast.
I'm Sarah, and I'm Nacho Typical Fitness Expert.
And I'm Kaylee, and I'm Nacho Average Fitness Beginner.
We're here to spice up your fitness journey
with some humor, a little knowledge, and a couple glasses of wine.
We're here to prove that getting fit doesn't have to suck.
So whether you're a seasoned athlete or a couch potato,
we've got some tips, tricks, and unconventional advice for you.
Let's redefine fitness together
and learn to balance fitness and fun. So Kaylee,
Sarah,
as you have been on this health journey,
sure,
you're a smaller human being.
Oh, well, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
I mean, we have the body composition episode came out in season 2, where we did like the body caliper stuff, which kind of are feeling like maybe we'll have to do like a season 3 update to see where we're at.
Sure.
With that, but you know, your body composition then through this whole process has changed.
Mm-hmm. I would think so.
Did you feel like it has or not?
I feel like it has.
What do you feel like is different?
I just look like a 10. You know what I mean?
As opposed to what?
Like I used to be like a 5.5.
So like, no, I've made it. I'm here. I've made it.
No, I definitely look, I'm less fluffy. I'm less, I don't know, fat.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Can we say that?
Yeah, we can say that. I mean, we can say whatever we want to as our podcast. Fat is still a fat. It's fat. You are less fat.
Thank you.
I mean, we've seen the pictures.
Yeah, we have.
We know. We know that there is less fat on Kaylee.
Yes.
No. The clothes have fit differently. Mm-hmm. Sizes.
My weight has not gone down in a long time.
You mean your scale weight?
My scale weight.
Like when you step on the scale.
It's been right around 140 for months, but I've seen the most changes in my body as far as like what I can visually see in that time.
Yeah.
My body has changed a lot. I'm just not losing weight.
Is that kind of a weird concept for you?
Yep. Because I weigh myself every Wednesday and then I do the body composition, and I continue to do the body composition on my watch only because I know it's not super accurate, but you will see a trend over time. Whether it's super accurate or not, you're going to see, you know, at least something moving on that. So that's why I keep doing that.
What has the trend been showing you?
For the most part, like the body fat has been, it's been a downward trend. I should pull it up for you.
Yeah, we could take a look at it a little bit and kind of see what it looks like.
Because it is interesting. Because I do it every Wednesday, so I keep it a consistent in the morning first thing. Because it does have different.
Now, when you have said that your body, like your scale weight hasn't changed much during that period of time, have you felt like you have not only seen the visual changes like in the mirror, but are you feeling like changes with like your clothes sizes?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think from the time I started this, well, when I first was like, okay, I need to make some changes, it was spurred largely by the fact that I was having to buy a bigger size of jeans than I had ever had to buy before. And that size was a size 10.
You got into the double digits.
Yeah.
And you were like, whoa.
And there's nothing wrong with a size 10. It's just for me, like that had not been a place that I had ever been before. It was not a place I was comfortable being. And I knew that me being there was an issue for me. And then I'm at like a size, like I bought some pants the other day at Kohl's that were a size 4. So
it's pretty good.
Here is my downward trend. And this is from starting February 2022.
Okay.
To
and that's your body composition.
Yeah.
So is that, can I see that?
Yeah. There's definitely a downward trend.
For sure. Okay. So we've got, what are we looking at here? Well, that's the scale weight. So you kind of bounce around. Oh yeah. Cause the scale weight is staying pretty consistent. Mm-hmm. That's your weight. But here, let's look at this. Okay. So
I think you can go into.
Yeah, I can. Okay. So, okay. Then we're getting some upward movement. So your scale weight's been like dropping.
It dropped a lot, and then it just kind of
flattened out.
Stopped dropping.
It kind of leveled off in like all of 2023, really. Mm-hmm. And then, but here's the interesting thing, because so you were doing a lot of cardio at the beginning.
Yeah.
Running. That was really about the biggest change you kind of made in your lifestyle, right? And then when do you think you really started doing the weight room? Was it this summer?
May is when I finally started going to the gym. May of
2023.
May of 2023.
May of 2023. Okay, so then we've got then we've got a skeletal muscle kind of tick in here too.
Yep.
That's really kind of going through, and it popped up a few times, which something like this, it's just reading it from your wrist, right? Your watch. That's where it's getting the readings from. But you're seeing from that point forward, that's where your incline is coming on your muscle. So you can physically see, even though your scale weight hasn't changed, you're seeing kind of that upward trend on your muscle. You're seeing your fat mass slowly decrease a little bit. And it's also kind of leveling off though too.
Yeah.
Whoa, but your body fat percentage, holy cow, it's dropping. Look at that. Wow. That's crazy. That's what's great about data like this is you
I know.
can
That's why I keep doing it. I'm like, I know it's probably not like exactly accurate, but at least you can get these charts that.
But it's the same. And you can see your progress. Because that's the thing, like, especially when we've been so conditioned to pay attention to scale weight. Like that's been like the indicator of health for so long. But there are so many reasons that is flawed.
Yeah.
You know, water retention, how much water you've drank, have you eaten, like, I mean, there are so many things. Your scale weight can fluctuate up to 8 pounds in a 24-hour period. I mean, it's kind of crazy. And so if that's your only input for success, it can really mess with your thoughts or a little bit, you know?
Well, and I think that's been kind of a psychological hurdle to get over is that the only reason I weigh myself on Wednesdays is that I have that weight to input on here because this information needs to know my weight so that it can do all this.
Oh, okay.
I don't get hung up on what the scale shows where I used to. Sure. I used to weigh myself daily and be like, oh my God, 0.6 pounds up, you know?
Right.
And all of which was silly and inconsequential to all of it.
Right.
Whereas now it's just like, okay, now I just need to get my weight so that I can put it into this probably wildly inaccurate.
But at least it's something. Right. I mean, it's like, it's data and you can take a look at it. And it's kind of one of those things where then you can see that body fat percentage specifically, because body fat percentage is in my opinion, one big indicator of how you see yourself in the mirror. Because it's that layer of body fat that's between your skin and your muscle that really gives you the opportunity to either see the progress that you've made in the gym or not, or to feel it. You know what I mean? Like you feel physically smaller. So, okay. Other than the clothes, like smaller size clothes, we should lost some scale weight, but most of it's the percentage of your body fat that's different. Any other things that you've noticed with being like having less insulation?
I get a little chilly.
Yes. Yeah. It's a real thing.
I've always been cold though, and I hate to be cold. So I notice it so much more now. Today when I went to take my 30-minute nap, I went and got my daughter's heated blanket and just laid in bed and just
glorious
baked myself.
Felt warm and cozy.
I just get so cold.
You know,
it's hard being tiny, you know?
I remember the very first time that I went through my first program and was kind of following my plan and going through the process. I remember that was one of my questions for my coach where I was like, is something going on? Like I am cold all of the time. Yeah. And she's like, you have less insulation.
Yeah.
You lost your coat. There's nothing there. And I was like, man, that was like I wasn't expecting that side effect of fat loss was to be a little chilly all of the time.
Yep.
Another side effect of fat loss that I wasn't anticipating was my rings.
Oh, I can't wear my wedding ring anymore. Actually, I wanted to put it on tonight because I was like, I just haven't worn it in a while. It's pretty. I like it.
Yeah. It's too big.
That's way too, I was going to lose it. I remember that. And the first time I did that was I lost a lot of weight after I had my first daughter. I had her in 2014. And then in 2015, don't get me wrong. I did nothing to try and do this.
Postpartum.
For whatever reason, I lost a lot of weight. And I was at a Garth Brooks concert. I was, clapping and carrying on. I was like, I need to take my ring off because I'm going to lose it. It was just flopping around my finger. And that's how it was again. That hasn't happened again until now where I'm like, I cannot wear my wedding ring.
You don't want to lose it at all.
No.
Huh. All right. Well, we'll get to talk about more of the side effects that we've got happening with reduced body fat after this quick break.
For more content, follow us on TikTok at Nacho Fitness Coach.
Okay, so other than the coldness, the rings situation.
Skinny fingers.
The skinny fingers. You know, you have fat everywhere.
Well, thank you.
I mean, yes, you, but like in general, everybody, you've got fat everywhere.
Yes.
And it's actually, that for me is always one of the first spots that I would notice it would be my rings would start spinning a little bit more.
Yep.
I mean, and so it just, you know, but if you look, if you would think about your body in a form of like onion layers, right? Like the amount of fat that you're going to have around your finger is a different amount of fat than you would have, say, sitting around your midsection.
Yeah.
Right? Like in order for your belly to look like that and your muffin top, like you're going to have
so you're
more
going to lose the fat in your fingers
first because there's not as much of it there, you know? And it's just, we had a spot reducing fat episode, which is just not possible. So it leaves from like everywhere, but like the areas then that it's kind of like thinner, it's where you start noticing more. So like the extremities, starting with your fingers, and you kind of maybe like your arms will start to feel like they're a little bit leaner. And then it always seems like the areas that you want to go first are going to be like
last.
The last
Because they're the fattest parts.
They're the fattest.
So that's why you hate them the most.
Right. And they're like the ones that you obsess about.
The bat wings.
The bat wings. The bat wings. Your back is a big area where I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much fat you lose from your back.
Yeah.
But you'll feel it like for females, like you feel it in your bra.
I'm trying to figure out, how do you flex your back?
What?
How do you flex your back? Like, how do you show your
like this
back muscles? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
Would you have any muscles back there?
I don't know.
Well, you've got to have some. I mean,
maybe
you're standing upright, but yeah, I mean, it's like you flex your biceps, but like you squeeze your muscles in your back.
Oh, it hurts.
Can't you get like your back in your shoulders and you can't feel it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Maybe if you make that sound, it will like just kind of like
coughing out a hairball.
Squeeze them together. That was my like I'm just gonna crank.
Do it again.
That's the sound that I make when I feel like I'm like squeezing, like flexing my back. Oh my god.
You just have to like have a sound.
You need to keep practicing.
Oh, thank you.
Another area that I remember noticing for the first time was forever that I could ever remember. I was somebody where like between my legs would rub, and like I would feel it after college. I was like, what do people do to like stay active? And I signed up for my marathon.
Right.
Remember,
Yeah,
I ran a marathon.
I haven't heard about this. Tell me
we
more.
really haven't talked about it for this entire season yet.
No,
so like,
we haven't.
Remember,
I almost forgot.
If you will remember, I've ran a full marathon.
I heard.
And that was, I mean.
Wait, you ran it?
No, I race walked it. I finished it. I completed one.
You went the distance.
I went the distance.
Of the marathon.
That's what she said.
No, you did not. You've been hanging out with me too much.
But that was one. I never really liked wearing shorts. You know, I would rather wear like a skirt or a dress, because I don't know, I just always was like self-conscious about like my lower body, like having a little bit of extra size or coming out away from, you know, it's like, so that's when I started training for that, and you get all that extra friction from all those miles that you're running.
Yeah.
That was the one area where I was like, ooh. But then when I started getting even leaner, how that eventually just went away. Not that I was ever looking for like that huge leg gap. Sometimes I feel like that's a goal for people.
Yeah, the thigh gap?
The thigh gap.
Yeah, I teach their own. I
don't know. It was never that.
I'm not
for me,
into
it wasn't what I would see in the middle. I never liked like the outsides. You know how I felt like I could see like the tops of my legs on the outside. I always felt really like bottom heavy.
Yeah.
But over time you get lean enough, some of that slowly starts going away.
Right.
So, you know, that was just one area that when I started losing weight, then I didn't have to worry about that as much.
So you saw in training for the marathon, you saw some
like weight loss and stuff
in your thighs?
I did actually, just because it was like a lot of time spent just doing like moderate to low intensity, like distance runs.
Yeah.
I did see my legs really lean out a lot. So that was actually one period of time in my life where I've never studied it. I've never sought out like research papers on it at all, but you know, cause people have opinions everywhere.
You didn't do that in medical?
No, I didn't. Yeah, right. See, yeah, 'cause I'm not a healthcare professional, so I wasn't trained in this. But just from personal experience, for me, when that was one area, like lower body fat, that for me was something that I wasn't really liking. I did learn that if I did like 60-minute, really super low intensity, like, 13-minute mile runs that were just like the slow, long jog, I saw a lot of that body fat go away.
Yeah.
I don't know that it has anything to do with it because you can't spot reduce body fat technically, but it was one area where I was like, ooh, my legs like really leaned out, and I didn't train anything about my like nutrition, but maybe it was just that activity being something different. I don't know.
I don't feel like I changed a whole lot about my nutrition until I started doing the intermittent fasting, but because initially I was just running.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of things leaned out in the process of just that. Mm-hmm. And maybe it was just the shock from like going from
couch to
being
5K.
a Candy Crush champion to running.
Right. It could have been.
And then, but I think when I was just telling my husband this the other day, I think when I noticed the biggest changes to the way that my body looked was when we did the 12-3-30 for 30 days. That changed a lot. Like, I don't know if it's leaning out or
what.
I don't know. But there was definitely a change.
You felt it or you saw it or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really finish it right away, so I don't know that I could say that
We should do it again.
We should actually do it again. I actually don't mind it. I like walking over running any day. I think it's much more kind on your
I've been doing it on my in-between days.
Yeah, as your warm-up?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no?
My warm-up on my days when I lift is a mile run. My rest days are a 12-3-30.
Oh, that's a rest day. Got it.
Yeah, what are you doing on your rest days?
Nothing.
Okay.
Still. Oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, so there's no doubt that if you're doing different activities and if you're in a spot where your body is releasing body fat, you're going to see the changes.
Yeah.
And then some of it's just...
You're going to see the changes.
Whatever.
Let me ask you a
question.
question.
Yeah.
And since you learned about the 12-3-30, and I know we're obsessed with this, since you've learned about it and we did it and you have probably seen different things, have you ever seen anything negative about it?
Not
Anybody
really.
out there saying definitely
You shouldn't
don't
do
this?
No.
I haven't either.
I mean, that's just what makes it good.
I think that's interesting.
That is actually really interesting.
I hated it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan did it once.
Audio Alan hated it for sure.
Did you make it through the 30 minutes, Alan?
No.
30 seconds maybe, or no. I
You made it for a few minutes.
I actually multiple times. So,
but you did not like it.
It's not, I don't like it. I still don't like it.
It's not easy by any means. It's really hard, but it's not something that it's not hard on your joints because you're not running. So you're walking and you're getting your heart rate up. The sweat is wild.
I had Bree do it with me one day. She was going to the gym the same time I was. I was like, we're going to do a 12-3-30. And she did like a 8. What's like good for her?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not pleasant. No. And the amount of sweat that comes out of your body is wild. I do not have an answer for that.
No.
I don't, especially if people like ever dog on walking over running. Mm-hmm. I mean, it depends on what your goals are. But for this, like when you're walking on an incline and you're not hanging on and you're actually like walking the incline, it is no joke.
No, it's brutal, but it's good.
It is really good.
Warm up, workout, whatever. Depends on what your goals are.
To each their own, whatever works for you. I mean, so yeah, that's the thing. Like when you start getting low body fat, there are definitely things that you don't think about.
Yeah.
When that starts to happen. And then you're like, oh, I didn't, or you're like, oh, I didn't have it in my budget. I actually need to buy new clothes because now my body fat's lower. Yeah. I'm a smaller human being. The other thing that I completely underestimated when I started losing a bunch of body fat was the fact that like my really almost non-existent boobs went away.
Yeah.
And to like nothing. Mm-hmm. And that was not okay for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
But
so what did you do about it?
I fixed it. A little bit of plastic surgery. And that was the one moment where I like sat there right before I went back and I was like, what are we doing? Like, what am I doing? Is this really best decision ever? They're awesome.
Yeah.
That's not the case for everybody. To each their own. But for me, especially for somebody that always hyped, like I never liked my lower half because I always felt like I was so thick and like so very bottom heavy. And it helped me when I look in the mirror, feel like I was even.
Yeah.
And that is a huge self-confidence thing for sure.
I had you send me pictures because you would because you have all these super fit pictures out there.
Yeah, there's a few.
And I was like, send me pictures from before your surgery.
Yeah.
And so you did. And I was like, oh yeah, good call. Good call.
Good call. Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. You totally needed to do that. Yeah. They were not.
I'm coming from a much worse situation.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, it was something where, and I will say part of that just came from being in the fitness competition world at the time. Like, I don't know that I ever would have thought about doing that on my own.
Really?
No.
I've thought about it since I was 8 and my boobs stopped growing. Because that's when they stopped growing.
It never would have crossed my mind. Never would have thought about it. Never would have done it. Have never done any kind of like plastic surgery since.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing. And so like it was never on my radar. And then like, I knew it was a thing, but I was always like, I'm going to have kids. And I always heard that was one thing that like you would maybe not be able to nurse. And I was like, that's not okay. Like I wanted to be able to have that as an option if it worked for me in that time. So I was like, I don't really want to make a decision that's going to like take that option away. And so I will blame it on the fitness competition, like clique that I got into at the time, because what I ended up learning through all of these women that had them was they were like, I was able to nurse just fine. Let me tell you how big boobs get when you have a boob job and then you've got full of milk because you're nursing.
You sent me a picture.
I have pictures of that too. And they are like bigger than my head.
Yeah, they were.
They're legit.
Very large.
And they were
for
full.
You. Love that for you.
I mean, they're not like that anymore. I'm done with that stage of life. But, I would be really interested if they came out, what I would have left. I don't think there'd be a whole lot there.
Do you have to go back and get them like redone?
I just was thinking about that the other day because I feel like I feel like they were like every 10 to 15 years you were supposed to.
Are you coming up on that?
I've got to be because I had them before
you had your first.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably 12 years old. Never even that time has come and went and it's been kind of crazy. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's worth a checkup on them. Probably.
You don't even have to check. Like they're just
here.
They just put them in.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
Away you go. Yeah. I think I had one post-surgical check in on them. Wow. They check the incisions and then they send you back out the door. So yeah, no, I don't know. I mean,
no, and I'm a big proponent. I do not have fake boobs. I may someday. I don't know. As far as making surgical changes to your body, do what makes you happy.
For sure.
Like, as long as you're not doing it for somebody else or, I think there's a lot floating around out there about, lip injections or nose job, any of those things.
I don't care. It make me nervous.
If it makes you happy, do it.
Go for it.
Do the research.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Find a qualified professional for sure. The one thing that I would probably, if anything else would be on my list now that I've had 4 kids, I would be like, okay, I would like my stomach to be tighter, for example, but I also have not done the work yet to see how much I can bring it back out on my own first. I can still feel how much I have fat sitting there.
But you did do the work to see how big you could just naturally get your boobs, and then you decided.
No, because you can't make your boobs bigger.
That's the joke.
You can't. I'm like, wait, what? I mean, it doesn't matter how much you can bench press. It's not changing how big your boobs can get.
Turns out
that's just not a thing.
With people with little boobs, such as myself and your former self, is that no, you can't. And the more weight that you lose, the more body fat that you lose. Sorry, whatever you did have is gone now.
Now, I will say I do have one really good friend from college that her tissue is really super dense.
I thought you were going to say.
Oh no.
It's like, whoa.
Her tissue is really dense and it doesn't matter how much she gains or loses. Hers do not change size. She is a very rare case.
Oh, they're just like natural fake boobs.
They're huge.
That's great.
And they are great for her. But I'm like, how is it? She's like, my doctor has never seen anything like mine.
Wow.
But that's a very rare exception. Most people, you've got a lot of fatty tissue and that when you start losing your weight, you don't get to spot reduce. So it's going to go from everywhere.
Yep.
So if you had boobs, you're probably not going to have very much left by the time you get through the process. So, but to each their own.
Yep.
Maybe that's okay. I don't know. I did finally pull the trigger on buying a romper.
Oh, you did?
I mean, yours looks great on you,
Thank
but
you.
I was like, I don't know. I mean, how's it going to look on me?
Great.
You think so? I don't know. We're going to find out. I haven't tried them
Oh,
on
you
yet.
haven't? Have you? Do you?
I
have
got
it yet?
them. They just got out of the washer, though.
What color did you get?
I have a hot pink one for the shop because that's like our main color. And then a black one.
Nice. Love that.
So we'll see.
I can't wait to see it. You're going to look great in it.
I hope so. We'll see. Or like, I don't know, just you don't see model pictures with the big rompers that have really big chests though either.
They're so comfortable.
Listen, I love me
That's
a
really
good
all
like
that matters.
moo feeling romper.
I don't care how
big maxi dress.
Cute I look in it.
Hell no. No, it's
super comfy.
We're of the age where we are only going for comfort here.
And here's the thing. I promise you, every time you wear that, people will comment on it.
Oh yeah.
For whatever reason.
They like it.
If it's just like out there, maybe now in our small little town, they're going to be like, oh, we already saw, what's her name?
Now you're just copying.
Now you're just
the other
copying.
girl. I'll be like, when I grow up, I just want to be like Kaylee with her curly hair and her romper.
Every time I wear that thing, I get comments, compliments.
It looks great on you.
Your outfit.
I do. I love it. It's great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's there are definitely some side effects of getting to the point where you have lower body fat that a lot of times you just you don't think about, or you don't realize it can be a thing, but it's a thing. So share with us what other side effects you have experienced from any kind of fat loss and see if it's something else that somebody else has experienced or whatever. Share your stories with us.
Yeah.
Social, find us, email, whatever works for you. So that's it for today.
Okay.
Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.